Today, I wanted to talk to you about something a little bit different, and that is the subject of marriage, or specifically, 5 reasons to get married that have absolutely nothing to do with love. Just as a quick disclaimer here, I'm definitely not advocating that you should not love your husband or your wife. It is very important that you love your partner, but love should not be your sole basis for getting married. Like other legally binding partnerships, marriage is a contract. So instead of looking at marriage as a happily ever after Disney fairy tale, it is much more beneficial and practical to look at marriage as a committed partnership between 2 individuals. Second disclaimer here, most of this video relies on the assumption that both partners are contributing equally to this marriage. So if you are in an unbalanced relationship where, for example, you are bringing in 100% of the income, the benefits that I'm discussing here may not necessarily work in your favor. With this in mind, let's go through the 5 different reasons why you should consider marriage. Reason number 1, married couples are typically more financially stable than single households. The reason for this is pretty easy to understand here. If a single person is making $70,000 per year, that person is going to be in a better position if she pairs with another person who is making a comparable income. If, God forbid, something were to happen to her primary source of income, she can lean on her partner for support while her income is fully restored. The same situation is a little bit harder for a single individual. Ideally, this person would already have a sizable emergency fund, so they're not relying solely on unemployment, but regardless, this single person is still not enjoying the financial advantage that a married couple with dual incomes does. Reason number 2, your cost of living is going to be a lot less as a married couple than as an individual. Once again, pretty easy concept to understand here. If you have a 1-bedroom apartment that costs $1,200 per month, that's going to cost a lot less when you're splitting it with a partner. The same thing applies to household appliances, groceries, Netflix subscriptions, etc. If you split expenses that you would otherwise purchase as an individual, your cost of living is a lot less. Reason number 3, financial goals are achieved much faster as a married couple than as an individual. Once again, pretty easy concept here. If you, for example, are saving for a down payment for a rental property, you're going to get there much faster if you have a partner who is contributing equally to this goal. That same down payment is going to take a lot longer to save for on only one income. And by the time that single person has already saved for that amount, your married couple is already working well towards their next financial goal. Reason number 4, married couples have legal access to shared assets. Now, for the first 3 marriage benefits that I mentioned here, you could very well argue that you don't have to be married in order to enjoy these benefits. And that's true. You don't have to be married in order to share a 1-bedroom apartment, and you don't have to be married in order to purchase a house together. But if you want any legal claim to any shared assets, it's a whole lot easier to do this if you're already married. For example, I just read a terrible story about an elderly woman who was facing eviction because her partner passed away and she has no legal rights to their shared co-op apartment. Although they had been living together for 20 years, they were never married. And because there is no such thing as common law marriage in the state of New York, she has no legal rights to the property. So while people will say that marriage is just a piece of paper, well, that piece of paper is going to protect you and your assets in the court of law. Reason number 5, children are statistically a lot better off in married households than single homes. Now, obviously this doesn't matter to you if you're not planning on having children, but if you are, this is a pretty big point to consider here. If you want the best possible outcome for your child, the data clearly supports marriage. A study by Kimberly Howard and Richard Reeves at the Brookings Institution showed that children whose mothers are continuously married make higher incomes at age 40 than children raised by single mothers. Research by sociologists Sarah McLanahan and Gary Sandifer also showed that children who did not live with 2 parents were twice as likely to be poor, have a child outside of marriage, have behavioral and psychological problems, and to not graduate high school. And finally, a study by the National Bureau of Economic Research also found that growing up in a single-parent household significantly hurt a child's chance at upward mobility. Now, a portion of this is due to reasons that we've already discussed here. Married couples are typically more financially stable than single households, and childcare costs a lot less when split with a partner. But a bigger portion of this is due to time. Married parents have more time and energy to engage with their children than single households. If you are tired after a long day of work, your partner can come and chip in and engage with your child as you take a break to rest and recover. Single parents do not enjoy this same luxury. Now, you could very well argue that you don't have to be legally married in order to enjoy the benefits of a two-parent household. And that's true. If you are in a cohabitation situation, you're going to enjoy a lot of the same benefits that a married couple does. But again, if we look at the data, it still supports marriage. Only 1 out of 3 children born to cohabitating parents remain in a stable family through age 12, as opposed to 3 out of 4 children born in married households. So as much as I am hopeful that your situation will last long term, the data suggests otherwise. Now, those were my 5 reasons for why you should consider marriage, but just because there are some pros to getting married does not mean that marriage is always a great idea. Next week, I'll be discussing the 6 different qualities to look for in a marriage partner because, let's face it, if you don't have a great partner, you're better off being single. If you are interested in watching that video, feel free to hit the subscribe button below, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you are alerted with any new updates. And until next time, I wish you all progress and prosperity. Take care.